Hey, hey, hey. I think we'll go right here. Let me know. See me, hear me, all that good stuff. I'm staying upstairs today. I've already been down playing with my little sea creatures. If, sorry guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch my video. Give me a one in the chat if you guys can hear and see me. And, yeah, Scotty, that's the only thing with this iPad. It doesn't pick up volume very good. All right. Hey, Rebecca, Cora, Scotty. Cynthia from the Netherlands. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Hopefully you are well. And I suppose this would be your nighttime. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. We got Chorus. She slid in before Joey today. You're slacking, Joey. So I've got some news on the cruise. We will wait till we get some more people before I go over it, so I don't have to keep sending people back to watch. Who else? Yeah, it's probably Sue, Joey. But God only knows. And it was really nice out today. But now it's starting to cloud over. But we'll take it. There's no snow. No snow. And my birdies, they have to say, we tried to get them out of the same litter or batch or hatch or whatever you want to call it. But we couldn't. By the time we put in both orders, it was already full. So I had to wait a month to get mine. So now they've got to stay in my basement for a week to ensure that there's no disease, and they'll have a good start with a week. The little monsters, they drink. They fight too. There's one we call Itty Bitty. Seriously, it's half the size of all the rest. He's one heck of a bully. I thought maybe he might not make it. Guess what? Out of any of them, he's going to make it. Or she. Don't know. They're not sex, so they could be toms, they could be hens. Don't know. Hey, Charles, how you doing, buddy? Hopefully you're feeling all right. Or as good as can be expected. You kick back. I'm sure you've got yourself water, a beverage of some kind. Doing okay. That's what I like to hear, Charles. I know it's a long road, but hopefully, yeah. Who else we got? I think I said hello to everybody. Scotty, Jamie, Cora. I'm just kind of waiting. I'm waiting for Jesse to come in because he wasn't on this call. Terry just called me out of the blue to let me, to discuss our next steps on what we need to do. And Jerry, if you're lurking, I need Jerry today. Jerry's good at numbers. Me, I'm good too, but Jerry's he's our number guy. But anyways, if you're considering going on the cruise, you need to get your name in, because I thought you could get the deal right up till a month before we cruised. Should never assume. That's not the way it works. This deal is only good till final payment, which is April. It's about 11 months away. April 25th or 26th, 2025. Then the deal goes away. The reason why we're having such a deal is they want to make sure these rooms are pre-sold. That's why we got the heck of a deal we did.
Bye.
Bye, sweetheart. Have a good day. Love you. There's my friend Jody. How are you, Jody? Hopefully everything's going well for you in Baltimore, surrounding area. From what we're seeing in mainstream news, it seems like they got a fix in fairly quick. Now, again, I said mainstream news, not the right news, not the wrong news. Mainstream. I may not get the whole thing out. Things are going well. That's good. So, anyways, yes. So if you are considering coming on the cruise, you got to get in to get the deal. Because if you don't, you're not going to get the deal. The boat is starting to fill up. And if Terry ever heard me call it a boat, his head would explode. It is a ship. Yeah. So, that's, other than a week from hell last week, we got through it. But it was a tough week. And you think it'd stop after last week. Oh, no. This week, there's more. But I can't say anything to this other than send some prayers towards my family. And, we're hoping that everything will turn out perfect. Hey, Carlene. Let me guess. You're from Kentucky. And you're a lady. I'll be here all day. Ben's over acres. Well, hello. Hopefully everybody's doing well. We're up to 17, so I know we have some lurkers. So yeah. Again, Terry can only give us this deal up to the final payment date. So if you're considering it, you might want to get your name in. And if you have any changes, I don't know. I don't want to take Debbie. I want to take my girlfriend. I can change that. I won't be alive. So it'd be a stupid move on my part. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. All changes have to be done before final payment. And most cruise lines, once you book, you can't change. Again, this is why I like NCL or Norwegian. You do pay a little bit more if you were looking at full price. But I have not found any other Alaskan cruise for 2025 that's cheaper than ours. Unless you want to go like the end of April. Between me and you, I'll take the end of August. Number one, it's a little warmer. And number two, there's still friggin' ice chunks in the water up there right now. Do you think I want to go in that? Nope. So, the only ice other than glaciers I want to see is in my glass. Just saying. Be back in a few, Bugman's. Oh no! We are having ant issues this year. We had to go get the traps and everything, and the trap they're about 4 inches long, 5 inches long. You rip the one end off. There's enough room for them to get in. They coat themselves. They go back to the nest. They kill the whole nest. So here's hoping that we can get this under control, because they're saying up here we are supposed to have the hottest, driest summer on record, which sucks because we're already starting to have water problems. So I really don't want to have my buddy come with his water truck and dump it in my well. Although, if I have to, I have to. But I really don't want to start paying $500 a load of water to have him deliver it. And yeah, I dump it in my well. Guess what? It fills the aquifer, which everybody uses. So like I said to my neighbor, I'll buy one. If it gets to that this summer, I'll buy one. You buy one. And we'll just go around. And hopefully, I know he's on the same vein as I am. Because whenever they drilled his well, I got sand in mine. So I know we're on the same vein. But, hey, Mona. Mona did what? Howdy, howdy, howdy. And again, folks, this Alaskan cruise is going to be epic. We have, if you count all the kids, and we're up over, I'm going to say we're up over 80 people going on the cruise. We're right around the 50 rooms. But, g'day, Dave. So just a little FYI, Dave, if you want to start spreading it around. Apparently the person that organized it this year is looking for somebody to take over the Eastern Ontario Homesteaders Conference. I've now volunteered twice. My comment's been deleted twice. Somebody don't want me to do it. So, I just told Remy yesterday, if I have enough people that will come to ours, because I also want to do it for the community, and I was going to do it anyways. Oregon. Wonder where I got that. This one held up perfect. The other one I won, not so much. Now, what I could do is I can scrape all that off and I can put a thing over it. Hey, Tiffany. But again, ones like this, they're good for about 2,500 washes. True story. Well, let's just say the cups that I sell and the stuff that I use are good for 2,500 washes. So, I have both going here, guys, because the iPad is small. So I have my phone, my handy dandy phone right here with some handsome fella right there. I don't know who that'd be. But anyways, Dave, that's the dealio, but we're going to host it here. You will be able to park waterfront. And I've already got deals worked out with hotels. They're not really that busy this time of year. So, like I said, I have some folks from the US that want to come up as well. So he's given me an amazing price on hotels. And yes, I am, Tiff. So you guys can even come to that. You're only 10 hours away, maybe 11. Depends on how many pee breaks you need. I could do. Everybody never let me. Nobody's beaten my record, not even Remy. Camelton, which is where Remy works, not where he lives. I'm not giving away where he lives. But from literally 1 minute from where he works to my front door, 8.5 hours. I even had my wife. I told her, you're allowed 2 breaks, 2 minutes each. So make it quick. I did it. So yeah, Tiff, it's been in existence. Dave, help me out. I think this is the 3rd year. It was in Lanark. It was in Lanark for 2 years, and then it was in Denby this year. And then the lady had said that she wasn't going to do it this year or do it next year. So I just simply said I would take it over because I'm having an event next year anyways. So I might as well combine the two and make a real shindig out of it. And what I'm thinking on doing is doing it on the long weekend in May, which we'll have the conference on Saturday, and then Sunday we'll have like a meetup. Possibly, if I have enough commitment, we may even do a pig roast at the farm. Yeah. So it's, I know Lila said that she was thinking about it. I'm going to try to get Tony and Joni, and, why not try to do a big one up here? We'll get all the folks from upstate New York, Pennsylvania, Vermont, even Maine isn't that far. It's like literally 25 minutes farther than where Tiffany is. Maybe a half hour more. And that's crossing a border. Oh, well, it's her birthday trip. See where I'm going? Mm-hmm. And yeah. And also, I don't know if y'all know, but the NHL, the draft is coming up the end of June, and we have a close family friend that is projected to go 20th. And I'm not meaning like a person that, we meet once or twice. His older brother is my son's, one of his best friends. So we know the family quite well. And so, yeah, if you're going to watch it, I may even do a live. I have to, once I get off of here, I have to go and Hank, watching you, dude. I know your sister's home. They're bugging you. You're not able to have your nap coming up. No. He's all out of sorts. He's normally napping now, but his two bigger sisters are home. One for lunch, one going to work. So, oh my goodness, there's an old blast from the past. G'day, D. How are you doing? Hopefully, you guys are fabulous. And I was just saying, if you know of anybody who wants to go on the cruise, spread it. The last time Jesse and I talked, if we can get to 75, we're going to have another giveaway. That's all I can say about that. I don't know why it won't work for me. I'm on an Apple product. Guess I got to wait till Johnny gets up here. You never know. He could be out playing with his cows. Working as usual. Yeah, well, then you have somebody like me who was wishing they could go back to work. And I know, you're only joking. I had a buddy of mine, he's constantly, I don't want to work. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, I'll switch you. I'll go to work. You take the broken spine. Or the spine that doesn't work. Well, technically it's broken. I'm missing 3 sections. That wouldn't be complete in my books. Do you consider me procrastinating when I'm making things? Well, no. You're working. But that's okay. Your work you enjoy to do. And in turn, you could turn that into a revenue source. The blanket that you made me, still on my chair. Use it every day. Truly, truly, truly appreciate it. And Rebecca's blessed me beyond blessings. I'm going to have to say that I was probably, and I can brag, the first other in this community. Not, I know where a handful of hats before I got mine went. But it's sad that they're no longer together. And it's quite sad. Hopefully the true story comes out one day, because it's not right. But that's all I'm going to say about that one. D. Yeah. So D, if your daughter is still considering about coming on the cruise, she's only got 11 months. It's a channel that Rebecca and I actually met. My Wyoming Life, or Our Wyoming Life. They're no longer together. They're splitsies, and there ain't no reconciliation or whatever that big long word is. That ain't gonna happen. But hey, Karen. Yes, now I'll focus. I sent you the link to Johnny if you're not busy. Oh, absolutely it does. And like he said this weekend, he put out a video. And like he said, he's had to hide it for 4 months. They knew it was happening. But he said, you got to try to smile for the camera. He said it's pretty tough. And then, he just had enough and moved over to their Airbnb house, and now he went out and bought a house. So it's good to see that he's doing well. You are the first in Canada. Yes. Hats. I think I got a dishcloth now. A blanket. Yeah. Oh, just give me a minute. And itty bitty.
Did he die?
No. That thing has got major psych issues. So beside the water, the opposite side of where Dad has the heat lamp, itty bitty was under the heat lamp, and the biggest chick, he come cruising right across and T-boned it, and put it like it was a perfect body check.
Yeah.
Put the biggest one right into the side of the bin, like, yeah, and then looked up at me like, that was a good one, eh?
He's a football star.
Oh, honestly, he done gone crazy. People start with chickens. I start with turkeys. Anyway, so there's Fisherman 506. G'day, Lee. And if Carolyn's there, hello, Carolyn, as well. Oh, God. She comes and goes more than he changes his underwear, Johnny. Yes, I've been following him, but it just like 1 minute she's there, the next minute they're in a friggin' drop down. I can't say what I want to say here, but yes, I do watch Stony Ridge. And that's what happens whenever you dedicate yourself to your farm. And I'm going to say there's a 20-year difference, probably. Yeah, I'm going to say there's at least 20-year difference. She doesn't want to sit around on a farm. Like I'm going to put her mid-30s, and he's at least my age, if not more. So yeah, there's a 15 to 25 year range. So there's my brother Tony and Johnny, and if Tish or Pooch and Tony, was absolutely amazing what you guys did for Josh. And I know that, you know, he didn't have the resources, and what a blessing to be able to get a hold of that church and come and at least buy him a couple months. I'm going to say this is the worst storm season I've watched from up here in a long time. I know, was it 2 years ago that it wiped that whole city out near, oh man, it's the one that was on the ground for like 200 miles. Was that 2 years ago already? I think so. But yeah, you guys, hats off. I wish I was closer. Not a whole lot I can do, but I can at least, you know, help them plant or weed or do something. But anyways, and I see Jan is putting together a work weekend or something. If it wasn't so much money to get down there, it's the same reason that why I couldn't do the meetup this year. I just don't have an extra $3,000. I could probably do it, but then I couldn't go on the cruise. And well, how does that work? One of the yes, June. Oh, I thought she had said the 28th to the 1st. Go check Simply Jan. If you, I'm sure, was it on Instagram? Let me see here. I know she had just put it up yesterday. Let me check her community page. Oh, here we go. Okay, final update. We're going to help Josh. Oh, on June 1st. There you go. So, yeah, she had originally said the 28th, 29th. That's the one I saw. But absolutely amazing. So, if you guys are anywhere near Davis/Sulphur, Oklahoma, where Josh is, or you know somebody in that area that's either got a tractor bobcat, any type of machinery. I'm sure the guys could easily use a hand, and they could. Hey Scotty, we're on the road to visit our supplier. You got Pops with you? Hey, Pops. Jesse, keep your eye on the road. Not that way, not this way. Straight ahead. I thought I was bad, folks. He forgets to look forward. So whenever you see Miss Lisa go, Jesse, it's real. It's real. Sorry, brother. Didn't mean to throw you under that RV, but had to do it. No problem, Tiffany. Yeah. So again, if you're around June 1st, work day at Josh's, if you're so blessed that you're able to donate, I will try to put the information. I'm not very good at this, but I'll try to put the information in my description. And if you go to, I'm just trying to see. No. I'm trying to think who has it on there. Tish. Tish has it on her. I think she's got it on her Facebook. I think she's got it on her YouTube account. And if I'm not mistaken, Jesse and Lisa have it on their live. So maybe whenever you get home, if you could like text that to me and I can copy and paste it, I can do that. And I don't know how much you heard, Jesse, but I was trying to get a hold of you before to give you the scuttle. We have 11 months to sign people up for the cruise, and then that's it. The deal's done. So if you folks want to come on the cruise, I'm just go to ncl.com, and if you're serious about coming, about once a month, they will put up, it's called a cruise first. And it's, you put $250 down, they put $250 in, so that's $500 off the price of your cruise. Who else is going to give you $250? Hey, not even Jesse and Lisa going to give that away. Just saying. So, all I can say is I think we all have squirrel moments, Rebecca, just like I just did that right there. But anyways, go to ncl.com, and as soon as you see the cruise first go from 250 to 150, or from 150 to 250, double down. It's $500 off your cruise, and you only cost you $250. It's a great deal. I don't, everybody, I've got a few emails recently. How much? Call this fella. That's his job. Jesse and I are there it was our idea that we were going to go, and we brought you guys along. And I guarantee you, we're going to have a ton of fun. G'day, brother.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm any better, and I'd have to throw my free health card away.
Well,
Yeah. I'll hang on to it for a little bit.
hadn't been the best here this morning either.
Oh no?
Nah. Just under the weather just a slight bit this morning. Feeling a little bit better now though.
Well, and don't forget though, like you pretty much for the last 2 months have been running your butt off between calving, the meetup, having the meetup, and getting stuff, done around the farm, getting your 2 little bacon seeds. Yeah, you guys have been busy.
Yeah, but everybody's busy. So it's everybody's got their own things, Did I see Dee say that she wasn't going to be able to make the cruise up there?
I did not see that, but let me go back up. That's the one bonus about using my iPad is I can go back up right to the
She says, go ahead and give that onboard credit I won back in the pot. I had to cancel my trip, just not able to do it.
Okay, D. Yeah, I just saw that there now. All right. We will
Sorry to hear that because I really wanted to meet Dee.
I know, me too.
And I was looking forward to kind of watching her in the rear view on the go-kart track.
Oh, now them some, but D, we, we fully understand, and it, we so wanted to meet you, and I just wish somebody could win that next $1 billion you guys have down there. We'll just rent ourselves out the ship.
I heard you talking about that going down to Josh and helping out thing. I think in June. That might work if it doesn't rain.
Yeah, you guys.
It's just so muddy down there that this. You can get. There's a few things you can get farther back down the creek, by hand, but there's so much stuff that you can't get by hand.
Yeah.
Like there's a tote there. Well, there's an IBC tote back there that is 3/4 of the way full of topsoil. And the only way I think anybody could get the topsoil, and if he wants to save that, for whatever reason, it's going to be shoveled out into like 5-gallon buckets and then carried out of there.
Can you imagine the water?
And then the IBC tote has to be rolled out of there. Now me and Josh, me and Tony, we rolled some IBC totes from way back in there. And Trinity rolled one out that didn't have an aluminum cage on it.
Okay.
From way back, but the rest, we were rolling them and it's just we really needed to be able to get the tractor back there, and just no way to do it in this in the gumbo that it is right now.
Well, Tony showed like even he's not a big man, and he was sinking down like 3 or 4 inches into that muck just walking.
Yeah, it just needs to dry up. Once it dries up, and if his neighbors are okay with it, because all that stuff's over on the neighbors. If they're okay with it, having a whole passel of people in there for one thing, and then getting all that stuff out. So I mean, I don't know if he's talked to his neighbor or not. I just know we went in there and started getting. Hopefully, he's talked to him. But the neighbor lives pretty close. We were right there in their pew pew range, because that's where the guy has his pew pew range, is right down there where all the stuff is.
Okay.
And so we found that while we were out there, and but we were able to get quite a bit of the big stuff from up toward the front. And Tony, Tony's big help. Pooch, Tish, then we had Trinity, big help. Josh, he's all right, I guess.
Well, I figured Trinity'd be the muscle and the brains.
It's hard for Josh to do a whole lot because he's holding an open, container of coffee in one hand to do everything. he's like that guy on Office Space that you see walking around with a coffee all the time.
You guys are gonna have to get one of those. They strap on your shoulders and hold up the IV, and just his coffee can drip just down through his mouth. And
I mean, I think Tony will agree with me. But Josh was working his butt off too. We were mostly chaining and unchaining stuff and trying to get everything, because that's what we did. Since we had the tractors there, we used them as much as we could, because that's a long way to drag tractors for us.
Well, that's it. Like, Tony and them are what, 2.5 hours out. You were like 3 or 4.
I was 3 hours and 40 minutes, but I think with our getting lost, we were a little over 4.
I was sitting back here and I'm like, you wouldn't have to go pee so often if you didn't get them lost.
Hey, I was like, yeah, I know. Yeah, that's true. I mean, she's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. 5 minutes later, I gotta go to the bathroom. It's like, oh, come on now.
I got one of those too, brother.
So she, I told her, I said, did we miss our turn? And she goes, no. And I said, okay, we're going to turn right. I said, if we had to turn right again after we turned right, we missed our turn. No, we didn't miss our turn. We turned right. Then it says, turn right. Oh, my good. Okay, here we go. We turned right. So we missed our turn. Yeah. No, we didn't. You can't get on that road from here.
Yeah, there's no connecting road.
Let's pull up there and look. So we pull up there and look over there, and there's the exit. Huh, we couldn't get off there?
No.
Oh man.
Oh, okay. Hey,
bye, Lisa.
You go talk to your supplier.
Supplier? Is that what they call the doctor now?
No. I think they're gone. They're gone to the farmer's market. So not unless there's a vet there for Jesse.
So so what are they getting at the farmer's market?
That's where he gets all these
stuff to.
Well, yeah, Lisa gets all her stuff for her jams, jellies, all that stuff.
Yeah,
and
be gentle on the chicken egg deal, Lisa. Be gentle on that.
What's that?
I'm telling them to be gentle on the chicken egg deal, because we might be able to help them out at some point here in the next couple of weeks or so.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I think you even with the way Jesse eats eggs, I think you've got him.
Eats them every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
He likes them.
Well, they have taste.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I don't get, like, my oldest and youngest will eat farm fresh eggs, but Debbie and my middle, nope, got to be from a store, and I'm like, do you realize how old those things are?
Yeah.
They started out this color. And I said, actually, they wouldn't have started out as dark. That's what they get from going around the barnyard.
Yeah.
And the extra little somethings that they pick up.
So why won't they? So why won't they eat the farm fresh eggs?
Don't know.
Huh.
They want the processed, and I'm like, you guys are just done crazy. I'll stay with, but yet they love the heifer. They're not really big on pork, but Debbie will eat pork chops and whatever.
Oh, okay.
So she enjoys the pig, and I'm like, funny, you know exactly. And then she starts throwing it back in my face whenever she read the bag of chick starter for turkeys. She's
Yeah.
like, this is medicated. I'm like, if you didn't give it to them, they'd die. Oh, I'm like, that's all they will get their entire life is 2 months of chick starter, and that's medicated. And yes, then they will be eating grass, bugs, all the good stuff.
So you and Brutal Bob, bacon is God's candy. That's right.
Amen, brother.
So you got the medicated feed for them.
Yes.
Okay.
They strongly recommend it. And like I said, maybe a month we'll feed it to them, and then they're on their own. We'll give them a little bit of corn and whatever, but they just grow so big off of the grass and bugs and whatever at the farm.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, and you're talking about turkeys, of
Yes.
course. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, as long as it don't rain, they'll be fine.
Well, they can get into the dry, like we have a turkey tractor, I guess you call them, and it's well covered and whatever.
Yeah.
We do have to fix it this year because that's where the coyote went through the side of it
Yeah.
and ate 8 of our birds last year, 7 or 8 of our birds last year.
Wow.
Anyways,
And that's something that was wild about down there at Josh's. I'm gonna have to jump up here for a second and finish this tea for Christine.
yeah,
But the those pigs, well, they got turkeys and chickens and pigs and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But he thought all the pigs had passed on. He thought they'd all drowned in that deal. They were still in the pen, but he thought they'd all, drowned. I mean,
Okay.
they weren't moving. And he said he got in there with them to grab, kind of pull one out of the way. And he said it started going. Well, every pig except for 2 little pigs made it. There's 7 adult pigs in there. And then
wow,
two little, well, there were 3. There were 3 little bitty pigs. I mean,
Okay.
like little footballs like that. And one of those made it, and the other 2 didn't. They were just too little.
Yeah.
And then one chicken coop had 2 or 3 chickens in it that didn't make it. They either didn't. One I figure is they probably flew. They probably left, in the storm. They're probably somewhere. Somebody's probably going, why'd the chicken cross the road down the highway somewhere? Probably down there.
Yeah.
But the other ones all made it. They were all, he has a coop where they can get up high, and there's all kind of roost inside of it and stuff like that. So the water was probably just flowing right under them inside the thing. So, but they were. How did that noise go again? Which noise was that? Let me get this tea. I'll be right back.
Yeah. You go get Christine's tea. You got to look after Mama. Let me mute him. There we go. No, we can't hear him. Actually, we're stuffing it, Bob. We got him. He was snacking on the last turkey, and then all of a sudden his lights went out. Boom. And the fox that got the chicks, or the our laying hens, fox got 2 of those or 3 of those. It was snacking on the last one, and its lights went out. It's a terrible thing. But yeah, no, it's just, unfortunately, they're taking away, unless you're on a farm protecting your farm. Like, we had to dispatch a mama and a cub black bears last year. They were probably, I've never seen a bear with as much, I don't know what to say, but it would walk right in with the cattle. Well, anybody seen a Highland cow go crazy? Once they start swinging those horns around, they're going to gorge it. And it knows enough. It took off. But there was one had its baby, I'm going to say on a Sunday morning. Mama bear and the cub come a knocking. Well, whenever you have, don't forget, even if they're not the same species of cattle, they get together and if they don't have horns, they start a stomping. And after they're done a stomping, then you've got the Highlands coming in with their great big old horns, and they're gorging whatever. It's whenever you see that happening, as the farmer, you stay away from it. It's crazy. And then throw in Barney our bull. So he is, sorry guys, my allergies, we started, what are we now, Thursday? Monday morning, I woke up to my black truck being yellow with the pollen, and my hay fever's gone crazy this week. But yeah, no, I was just saying about black bears and how the different breeds of cattle get together, and they come a stomping and they come a gorging. It's something you just don't, you get the hell out of the pen, because they can get real nasty.
All Highlands are horned, right?
Not all.
So they're polled. There are some polled ones.
There is. Now, if any of your crossbreeders, they will not have horns.
Oh,
They
okay.
will have little nubs, but that they don't grow into horns. Only. Oh, yeah, you darn tootin', Charles. That'd be more than a pain in your. Yeah. Do you get any Canadians? You ain't got nothing to worry about. I got old Gertrude. She'll drop anything that comes anywhere near here. And since we started getting our death threats, you know, I just people are like crazy. They want people to. I got into like municipal politics to help guide my community, not to have some person who doesn't even live in my community threaten to chop my head off. I more or less sent her a message and said, bring it. I'm going to introduce you to Auntie Gertrude.
Wow. And you're still not in jail? You're not in prison right now for threatening to protect yourself?
Nope. Self-defense.
Wow, that's crazy. As Charles says right there.
Yeah. That's, and let me say, pennies on the dollar is all we make. This year, we finally get to submit the bills for my cell phone. Oh boy. And even then, I got to jump through 1,001 hoops.
Mm-hmm.
Is it really worth it?
So, I was conversing with actually, I was reading something on Facepalm, and
that's always right.
And somebody was talking about road rage, and they said, there was this guy who basically they were running 25 and a 45, I guess, while they were trying, and the person behind was trying to get through. Hey, Laughing in Piedmont. And so somebody else all of a sudden makes a comment about, and that idiot was probably carrying. And, that just goes all over me. It really does. It just, it has no relevance whatsoever to any of the conversation that's being had in there. And so I have to interject my 2 cents about that. And I'm like, well, perhaps they are. What does that have anything to do with that situation?
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying, well, they'll pull that pew pew out on you, And no, I said, I want you to go back and I want you to look. Ever since you guys got all wadded up about this, whenever they started open carry in Oklahoma, which it's not even, you don't even have to have a concealed carry permit. They said we were going to the Wild West, and it'd just be people getting, whacked here, there, and everywhere. Well, it ain't happened. I said, I'll wait while you go and find where someone has, here in Cherokee County, where somebody has pulled out a pew-pew during a road rage incident. And I said, the more likely the situations where one of those will be used is whenever somebody that's in road rage so bad that they try to pull you out of your car.
Mm.
That they're that mad and they try to pull you, and you actually are able to protect yourself.
Yeah.
I said I can see that much more than somebody just, willy-nilly, because that just don't happen. Like I said, it's pretty polite society over here. So
but it and again, that's like, we only see the bad up here, and you try to explain to people that, like, they don't even want us hunters to have means of feeding our family. Do you think it's cheaper for us to feed our family going with the boys for a week? Mm-mm. You could probably go buy just as much in the store, but it's not going to be as healthy. But they're trying to eliminate all this stuff. The government, old Sparkle Socks there, he's trying to eliminate all this. And it's like, you know what? This has been around your real father used to carry.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And everybody around him did too.
And that
But
wasn't
nobody else did.
that wasn't a little Gertrude. That was a great big old Gertrude. Oh man. But yeah, it's I forget what it was. Oh, I know what it was.
Thank you, Karen.
I was talking to Debbie on the phone. Obviously not this tin killer, but the last one. And the park ranger, I forget her name, came up, and there was a person who was toting a pew pew in the park, which is totally illegal. You're not allowed to. So I just happened to be there, and she knew I was there all weekend. She's like, "Can you ask him to put that in his truck, please? Because if the police come in here and see it, this is, it's going to go somewhere we don't want it to." I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Debbie's like, "Oh my God, he's going to shoot you." I'm like, no, he's not.
No.
But again, she is, that's what the mainstream media wants you to believe.
The media has you believing that automatically it turns the most mild-mannered, just rational person, if they have a pew pew on them, then they immediately turn into some kind of a bloodthirsty monster of some sort, and it's not true.
No,
it's not true. I mean, I actually forget that I have mine most of the time, and don't pay any attention to it. Now, as far as carrying at the state park, no, I didn't have it on my person at the state park. Were they there? Yes. But not on my person at the state park.
And you're allowed to have it tucked away,
right?
Either in a vehicle, in your residence. You're allowed that,
right?
But he had it on his hip.
Right.
Can't do
that.
Exactly.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
I know.
And in the same thing happened this year. I mean, we had somebody with doing that this year. No, what I don't think we ever saw a park ranger the whole weekend. Yeah, no, I don't think.
So there was
somebody else will have to help me with this, maybe Tony or something, because he was around there.
Now there's
nobody ever came up and said anything about anything to us.
Yes. So there was an old gentleman that was there, and they called him the camp or the park host.
Yeah.
And apparently he lives up near where the buildings were, in a beautiful trailer. His trailer was absolutely beautiful. And he got all summer free camping, doesn't cost him a dime. Now, he doesn't get paid anything, but the park's his. He can go fishing. He can, as long as he's around the park to help people. And I'm like, wow, what a job. What an amazing retirement gig. And that's what this guy does they would move him around to the different parks, and he'd get to enjoy all the different parks in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that would be my perfect job. Number one, get to talk to people, and then there was another lady. She was, I forget her name. JB, if you're hiding, it's JB knows her. And she was just a wonderful lady. Oh, there you go. The only time I seen one was Sunday afternoon, 11 a.m. He drove by. So that was probably
I saw that one.
post.
Who was it that won the other 50, not Brandon? Okay, Charles, that was the other one that was won by Gypsy Trails. His name is Randall, and his channel is called Gypsy Trails. And the reason it's Gypsy is because he's got a little dog named Gypsy.
Okay.
So that was Randall, and he
Can
actually
somebody put that in the chat for Charles?
yeah, and he donated his winnings back to Charles as well. So
Amazing.
yeah, Brandon and Randall won.
Yeah,
the 50-50s.
Absolutely, Charles. JB is one of a kind. And if you do something wrong, she'll call you out as fast as give you a hug. That's why I love JB. Scott, I like you sometimes. Oh, absolutely, Bob. And, you know, there's good things about my country and there's bad things. Same as what there is about your country. Good things, bad things. Now, my country's going to be a lot better next year. Hope. If not, I'm moving to Mexico.
You're moving to Mexico?
Moving to Mexico.
Well, I guess you can just it might not be as easy to get from here to Mexico as it is from Mexico to here. And then you're going to have to wade your way through a whole bunch of folks that are pointed north.
Well, and that's it, because depending on what happens down there is going to dictate what's going to happen at my border. And it's absolutely crazy the amount of folks that are coming north.
Yeah, it is. It really is, because you know there are a lot of folks going all the way through to Canada.
Yeah,
and they are. The thing is Canada is not near as populated as the U.S. There's just so many areas in Canada that really can't be populous. You know, it's too far north. So they're, you know, around the cities, and they're around, you know, the lower rural areas and things like that is where you're getting all that influx of people. I mean, you guys get I think what they say, 1.5 million or something like that last year or something. People came into Canada.
No, it was a lot less than that. It was 300,000 is the census numbers.
Well, that's the census.
That's including.
So they got 1 million people, folks.
Probably.
So, but you imagine that's coming into area. I mean, you know, you're thinking big cities like, you know, Chicago and New York and stuff like that. And, you know, 1 million people in a city like that, it's still a lot of people. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of people. But whenever you get a few large cities, they kind of, you know, it just kind of waters down a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, whenever you put it to Canada.
Now, they've been asked, the immigrants are actually given a bonus to live rural instead of live in the cities, because the problem is they're running out of room in the cities.
Yeah. So there's a lot of room around out there where you're at?
Well, no.
The Sparkle Socks hasn't set it up yet to where you guys have to open your home to an immigrant family yet.
No.
It's coming. It's coming. You mark my words. Mark my words. Here in 6 months, Scott will be going, guys, I'm doing my live, but I got to be quiet because Julio and
Julio, he's
you
making
wait
me
to
a
see, I'm telling you.
Yeah, he's making me a burrito over here.
You wait and see.
I got my Spanish rice.
But that's just it. It's not, and we're not really want to say anything about Mexican people because it's not
No.
It's not Mexicans.
No.
These folks are from way farther south than that, and Somalia and China, and just a lot of places in
I couldn't
the
believe
Middle East.
It starts in Brazil.
Middle East guys.
Yeah, because Brazil is such an easy country to get into. It starts in Brazil and they start coming north. And they zigzag their way through into Mexico. From Mexico, they go down and they exit into the U.S. around Laredo. And then from Laredo, Chicago, New York, Vermont, cross over into Canada. And it's, I'm sorry, but my federal police are helping handicapped people get off a bus. No. Turn that bus around.
Well, that's what's happened with the Border Patrol here. It's turned into basically a where they just it's kind of like tour guides and they help people to as soon as they get here, and they say as soon as they come across the border, first thing they say, seeking asylum. Once they say seeking asylum, that's it. They don't even go into what's the asylum you're seeking, what's the situation, they don't even get into that. They just seeking asylum. Okay, all right, where you want to go? Here's a phone.
Yeah.
Here's I mean,
okay,
now they're
Charles.
giving checks.
Yeah, if we don't see it,
Charles.
Them,
no, it's a card, but they're giving them money. But
yeah, well,
so
I'm
they're
sorry,
bringing in the Gaza folks now.
They I'm not. You want to come into my country and do it legally?
By Charles.
Let me vet you.
Yeah,
I have no problem with that.
Yeah, just
because I know some hard workers around here. Canada was built on immigration.
Yeah, my little favorite restaurant, Jose's. I wouldn't be able to eat it.
Exactly.
But I'm just saying it's. But we got folks that Here's the thing, they hate the West.
Yeah.
They hate the
But
West.
they come here and want to change us to their society, and their society's killing one another. So, Sparkle Socks wants to bring in what's the banking institution, the Muslim banking institution.
I don't know.
I'll have it for next.
Don't say Hamas.
Well, it inevitably funnels back to Hamas, but Sparkle Socks wants to allow them to bring it to Canada. Excuse me? You're going to change my banking system to the place who they blow themselves up. I have a big problem with that. But don't get me wrong. The only person of Mexican descent that will ever live in my house would be Jesse.
Well, I mean,
just saying.
I'm gonna tell you, there's some real fine folks. I mean, there really are. There's some really fine.
And people.
Yeah, I'm not. But that's not the immigration problem we're having now. We don't have a Mexican immigration problem.
No. No.
We have an immigration problem coming through Mexico, but it's not Mexicans. It's everybody else though.
Uh-oh. You know what, Johnny?
What?
I think they just took me down.
They did?
It just flipped. My live just flipped. to somebody. I'm trying to log back in here to see.
Hang on, let me look. Yeah, you're off. No, wait a minute. Hang on.
No, I was off and now I'm back. Type 1 in the chat, guys, if we're back.
I see Fabric Studios here.
Yeah, Fairbrook Studios.
You're still here.
Okay. Because I was like Johnny and I are right here, and it went away. It went black. I'm like, oh, are you serious?
Hey, I wouldn't doubt it. I would not doubt it in the least. You know.
No, neither would I. And it's a crying shame that we can't have a civil. Nobody's arguing. Nobody's yelling. Nobody's screaming.
No.
We're having a civil discussion.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with today's world. You're not allowed to have a civil discussion. They don't want us to talk.
No.
They want to keep Americans and Canadians separated. I remember whenever I was going to school as a kid, they said in your lifetime, you're probably going to be just one large city or one large country. Whatever. And, but now you got Sparkle Socks, you got Biden. One's dumb, the other one's, we'll leave that one alone. But again, you guys have 320 million people.
300 and I think we're up to 300, around 350 million or so right now.
So we're right around 300. No, we're right around 35 million people. We're only a tenth of what you guys are.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, hey, Anna.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt. But, it just, and it's a crying shame. I've seen so many people get ousted just having discussions like what we do on Procrastination Thursday. We solve the world's problems.
Right. Yeah.
Or we add to it, one of the two.
I mean, it's just a discussion. I mean, and that's what people need to do. They need to talk. You need to, you don't need to automatically have, what do you call it? People don't talk anymore. It's all, they draw lines along political lines. They draw a line. And if you're one party, you can't talk the other, and that's wrong.
Yeah.
That's wrong. You should be able to talk to one another.
Yeah.
And I remember when Congress used to work together to get things through.
Yep.
And that would help all of the people of our country.
Look at what happened in our legislature last week. Our federal, the leader of the House or the speaker is a liberal. The Conservatives said Sparkle Socks is an extremist. He kicked him out of Parliament.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, folks, but people, they've got to stop. And it's, the whole, they wonder why our kids are called the snowflake generation. Well, if they don't, the way that they've been taught at school, if you disagree with somebody, get rid of them. What's that teaching?
Yep.
Civilization?
Unfriend.
Yeah. Unfriend, delete. Oh my goodness, you can't talk to them. They don't think exactly the way you do.
Right.
And that's why I love our community. You know what? Do we always agree?
No.
Hell no. And that's not the way civilians were meant to be.
Yeah, you've got to be able to talk. Communication is key.
Exactly.
And stop demonizing the entire rest of the, you just got to.
Well, look at the amount of marriages that are, they're lucky. I was told, it was one of my cousins this weekend at my uncle's funeral. Whenever she heard that Debbie and I are together over 30 years, but we're married 28. oh my God, that never happens anymore. Well, you know what? The way we looked at it is it's a 50-50. If you don't work at it, guess what? It's going to be 10 times the work to find a new one.
And see, that's the thing right there. You said it right there, Scott. They need to run the country like a marriage is run. They really do. You need to, you're never going to agree on everything. It's not going to happen. You want to see how much it's not going to build a house together, do something like that. But I'm just saying it's not. But you're gonna talk and you're gonna discuss and you're gonna give concession and you're gonna do things to make the whole situation, the family better, the family unit better, and stuff like that. And that's what the country needs to do. It needs to just instead of and I hate to say it like this, but instead of catering to the very few folks who
3%.
are just kicking and crying and screaming and just throwing a hissy fit over here. Stop catering to those folks right there.
Yeah.
And then just look at as a whole. I mean, their voice can be heard as well. Yes, but it doesn't need to be the only voice heard. And that's what we're hearing. And we got, like in your example, 97% of the world country is not being heard because 3% is. And that's wrong. You need the entire country should be heard. And then we will, and we will make our voice, just make the whole country better for everybody, not just for these folks, 3% right here. All right.
Yeah. Like, especially up here.
Yeah, come on.
You have the extreme French people that they only speak French. They want the whole world to cater to them. There's no give or take. Although they're 1% of the Canadian population, they want that 1% to rule the 99.
Right. Yeah. And it doesn't work that way.
No. And, don't get me wrong. Remy's not like that. Darren's not like that. Brigitte's not like that. Like, there's so many. I have so many close French.
Hey, dear.
Friends. Hey, Christine.
Hey.
Yeah, I've got so many close French friends. They're, there's never an issue, but you have that 1% that wants to change the whole world.
Right. Right. Yep. Change the whole,
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, but anyway, I didn't mean to get on here and talk about all this stuff and everything. I really wanted to talk about bears and chickens and Highland cattle and stuff like that. So
and turkey chicks. I'm having a blast with those little
turkeys. Young turkeys are kind of silly. They'll stand in the rain and drown.
Yeah,
and that's the reason why they'll stand there and they'll just put their head in the sky and they'll just drown. So
it's the same as what I was saying to my daughter, Itty Bitty, the smallest one I have. We thought we were going to lose. It's like the biggest bully in all 5 of them.
Oh wow!
It either him or her or whatever come cruising along and just T-bone the biggest fella and put him right into the side of the bin.
That's why you do it. Whenever you're little bitty and you're in. You're
going to be the last one.
When you're in, you gotta. If you're the little bitty one, you gotta get your bluff in quick.
And the other one,
you just look at the biggest one in there and go and just whack.
Yeah, and Debbie.
The rest of them look at you like, oh.
Yeah, Debbie hates birds, and to have like 5 turkeys in the basement right now, she's like, yeah, don't worry about it.
Hey, when we picked up those chickens for Josh Sherman, those little chickens, he gave them to me in a little cardboard box with some pine shavings in the bottom of it. And
Yep.
we kept them in there. We had to keep them overnight here in the house, and we kept them in the utility room. And had a light,
Yep.
on, a heat lamp and stuff. They weren't like the tiniest of little chickens. They were just starting to grow little feathers on them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
So in the night, I got to hearing cheep, 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 a lot of it. So anyway, of course I'm sleeping. I'm like, I'll deal with it in the morning. So I got up the next morning and there was like 3 of them running around in the utility room, just doing whatever
Got
they wanted.
Yeah, got it.
And so I got them gathered up and I put them back in the box and everything, and went and, was getting around, trying to get around to go to get Josh or go down to
Yeah.
Josh's. And I bet 5 more jumped out while I was getting around. And finally we put them back in the truck, and and we got them over there. And I hope they're doing okay. The ones that we got over there. There was unfortunately, is right whenever I picked them up, one of the little chickens wasn't looking good at all. And they said that there were several kids and they'd been handling them a lot while they were driving. So anyway, the one little chicken didn't make it that day, and then one didn't make it that night. So there were, I think they gave us 20, and we ended up taking 18 down there.
We got 20. They all looked bad.
Yeah, well, they all look bad,
We
but
saved 18 of how I look.
so,
Okay.
but
I got it. And like Debbie's like, well, they're so damn cute. And I'm like, oh, give it a week or two.
yeah, they get that ugly teenager look pretty quick.
Wait until they lose the down.
Yeah.
You've got some ugly looking, oh man, they have to be the most, like, at least a duck, a chicken. They kind of have a somewhat of a, but a turkey, they go from really, really cute to freaking ugly. There's no middle ground with them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. I mean, I guess that's the reason why I like cattle so much. Because from newborn up to, through their teen years and all that, they still look great.
Yeah.
They look great the whole time.
Absolutely. And Debbie picked one up last night. She goes, what is this green stuff on its head?
Green
I'm like,
stuff.
don't touch it.
Yeah, don't touch it.
She's like, but why? I'm like, it's crap. She put the bird back, and I'm like, that's why you wash your hands before you touch them, and you wash your hands after.
Absolutely.
And I said, these, especially at this age, the disease will take them like that.
Yeah.
And that's why we give the medicated food for the first month.
You have to be careful with a little high core Phelps. You have to be real careful with the little the introducing chickens or any kind of fowl together. You really do, because even if you buy the guy was telling me a story, actually, Josh's brother. He said last year, he found a lady that was selling. Hey, Christine.
Long time no talk.
And he was he said she was selling laying hens. They were cinnamon queens for, hello, is this mic on? Yeah, it is. So
I told you to turn that mic off, Johnny.
So anyway, so they were $5 a piece. So he bought 100 of them. He gave $500 for 100 chickens, right?
Oh my
because
God.
they're supposed to all be laying right now, right?
Yeah.
He said no sooner than, they turn them loose, he said 2 of them died immediately. And then he said the next morning, I think he said there were only 3 left alive out of 100. And they were full grown chickens.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so he said he finally was able to get back a hold of them. And it was back what he said they were doing was, the bird flu was going around then real bad. And this lady was going around and getting these chickens from the bird flu folks, I guess, and then selling them, try to make a profit off of them before they passed. And so anyway,
That'd wipe out his whole flock.
well, luckily he didn't have any other chickens, so I mean,
okay. Well,
so it just that was the way they were gonna,
yeah.
Their first egg layers, and their plan was, here's what their plan was. Their plan was to not build a chicken coop or anything like that. They were just going to free range them all the time. And the reason he bought so many is because he knew he'd lose a lot, like coyotes and raccoons and stuff like that. But if they just had enough of them on their property, that they would still end up with eggs and things like that, because they couldn't get them all right, is what his idea was.
Yeah.
But, the bird flu took them just right away. He said he got a hold of her, and she gave him $200 back of their $500. So anyway, you're still out, $300.
Exactly. And it just, I found $5. Like, that's really cheap up here for now what I call ready to lay eggs. It's within a week you will get eggs from it, and they're anywhere from $10 to $15 a piece.
Yeah, and that's what he was thinking. He said, well, these are really cheap. I can't lose out on. I mean, I don't want to lose out on this deal. And that's the reason why he bought so many, 100 of them.
Yeah. And again, some things, some things are cheap for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, no,
Go. So what do you got going this week, Scott?
Well, I had meetings, and hopefully that's it. I really don't want any more. Hey, Troy.
Hey,
Troy. Nice to see you. Yeah, I'm hoping for a quiet week. After last week, we need a quiet week.
Yeah, we did the went to Josh Sherman's on Sunday. And then I think I edited my video. I think it came out maybe Tuesday, I think, is when the video came out. And I should have another one out right now, but I don't, because I've been trying to do, I guess, too much, and I kind of under the weather right now a little bit. You might be able to see it on me, but but we've got, let's see, tonight is our live. And tomorrow night is our church group. Church group's going to come out tomorrow night, so we got to get ready for that. We've been working on it. Christine mainly has been working on the garden a lot. I helped her some I cleaned out the chicken coop, cleaned all the bedding. We have a deep bedding system. Yeah. And I cleaned all the bedding out of the chicken coop and replaced it with new bedding. It's like that time, and so she uses all that old bedding for her garden area. And so we did all that, drove some T-post for some a couple of deals. I did that in the lightning storm yesterday evening.
Night, Cynthia.
Are you ready?
No.
Okay. So but anyway,
Um,
Now, you use right out of the chicken coop and put it in the garden?
What she's doing is she's making
for next year, no grow
it's
beds.
for next year. It's
okay.
She's putting it in rows, and she's actually mixing it with soil
To start
Okay.
to start it, get it started, and it's going to become what she's going to plant in next year.
Next year. Yeah, no, that makes I just whenever you said that you put it in the garden, I'm like, she's using that hot.
No, she's not. She's not planting in that. She's just
Okay.
She's going to use it for the garden. Let's just put it that way.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, this
I'll
weekend
Cynthia.
I have to try to clean out all my gardens. And I think the long range forecast is next week we've got one day that's going about 35, 32, right around zero. And then we should be good. Worst case scenario is I've got insulated tarps and I have 2 or 3 heat lamps. So I'm not overly concerned. I can keep the soil warm.
Yeah. Yeah, we're I think we're past all that stuff. We're getting ready to be full blown
Yeah.
summer.
Yeah.
And the weather guy that I follow down here in Oklahoma, he's saying get ready for hot and hotter.
Yeah.
So
That's what they're calling for us this year. Very hot, dry summer. And
right.
man,
Well,
that's just equal storm after fire, fire after storm, because lightning strike always triggers a forest fire around here.
oh yeah, you guys got that. There's a
Well,
lot of
they won't allow them to burn anymore. We used to, they used to burn. Now they still do on the military bases where they shoot any of the ranges. They do a burn perimeter around there. But we're not allowed to, like, I can't go out and where the long grass is underneath my trees, like what we used to be able to do, go through and burn it. And, so if it ever did start on fire, it goes nowhere.
Wow.
Sparkle Socks took that away.
When did you do that, Scott?
When did you do that? About 10 years ago.
About 10 years ago.
10, 15.
So how long has he been in there?
14 or 15 years.
Do you guys not have term limits or anything?
Unfortunately, no. It should be the same as what you guys are, 2-year or 2-term.
2 terms for 8 years total. Yeah.
But like our member of parliament, she is.
Well, see that.
She's not the smartest little turnip. And she's been in now 22 years.
See, that's Biden. He's been in government for what, since he was
70 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
70
say.
years.
Yeah.
But he's been in there forever. But see, that's the thing. We talk about term limits for presidents. We need term limits for Congress. We need
Amen.
to me, I think that we need 1 term per person. I mean, that's it. You get one shot at it and then move on, because it's just not whenever you're there for life and you don't live under the same system as everybody else.
Yep.
You don't have to deal with Medicare. You don't have to deal with, any of that. You don't have to worry about where your next meals come from. You have somebody who gasses your car up for you because they drive you around.
Yeah.
Whenever you don't have to live under all that stuff, you just become numb to the problems of the people, Well, and you don't care about those folks because it doesn't affect you none.
Well, you look, our federal side, so Sparkle Socks gave all the MPs 12% raise plus 24% carbon tax increase. So there's 30-some% right there.
Wow.
And then they wonder why there's no money. And then I have my constituents, because we get roughly 20 cents on the dollar to do all their roads, their garbage, their, everything. But it's always because they can see our stuff daily, it's always our fault. And we make so much money. And I said to one fella there, I'm like, if you'd like to trade jobs, I'll do it. Because I said, I know how much you make, and you don't want to listen on how much I make with the township being elected. But I said, it's not even 20,000 and you want to turn it into a full-time job.
Mm.
No. But, and like Debbie and my cousins were talking this weekend, we used to have a lower, middle, and upper class. Not anymore. There's upper and lower. Middle class is gone.
Yeah.
The blue collar worker is gone.
Yeah.
Because they're living paycheck to paycheck now. And before, blue collar, factory worker, whatever, was a good paying job.
It was.
Sure, it's still a good paying job, but because there's so much going out to, this and that,
Because everything else, because of inflation, because everything else is so expensive.
Exactly.
Money that used to be a few years ago is pocket change now.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you look, our house we
hey,
bought,
Ginger.
and I've said it. Hey, Jen, I've said it several times. Our house we bought for 140,000, I think, 22 years ago. 600,000 it's worth now. I wouldn't give you a dime over 3 for it.
Yeah.
Well, they're selling like this,
Right.
like right up the street. Exact same house as mine. Got in a bidding war a month ago, and it went for 660 with a 1 month close.
Wow.
But like I said to Debbie, and she had a valid point. I'm like, shit, we should just sell and move out east, where we want to be, out on the ocean, And she's like, okay, but our house is worth X amount of dollars here. If we're not going to be further ahead, why do we really want to move? I'm like, all right, point taken. Like before the whole pandemic, we actually looked about 2 hours from Tony and 2 hours from Remy. It's about middle of the province, but Miramichi, New Brunswick. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful area. And we looked at a house, came with 3 properties. So the house on a parcel of land, right beside, there was a well and septic. They took the mini home that was there away. So you just have to pull in a mini home, and you'd have 2, like you could rent one out as an Airbnb. And then across the road was going to be the man cave. They only wanted 235,000 for that. Now it's almost 800,000.
Yeah.
800,000.
Yeah, it's crazy. And you stood on the front veranda. You looked, the right was the Atlantic Ocean. The left was the Miramichi River. And all that I had to do was go out on the dock and cast out, and salmon, sand bass, you name it, from the ocean was coming in to spawn or have babies, and then they'd go back out. So there was twice a year that all that I had to do was just cast out, and I could fill my freezers.
Yeah.
And $26 for a lobster license.
Oh, wow.
Non-commercial.
That would be cool. Get a lot.
Well, can you imagine a bunch of buddies going out in the boat for the day and throwing a couple things and catch supper and go back in?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's what Lee's used to. That's what he did his whole life. And
Yeah.
now that I think he's handed down the ship or the boat to his son.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sorry, once a fisherman, always a fisherman.
Oh,
Guaranteed he's going out with him. And Scotty's living paycheck to paycheck is not fun. I find myself up the creek without a paddle more than I should. Absolutely, brother.
that's everybody now. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just, I mean, well, let's just put it this way. It's everybody but the elite. It's everybody but people who have no clue how everybody else is having to live.
Yep.
I will tell her you said hello, Ginger. She, a lot of times whenever you don't think she's there, she still is. Just
She's
say,
right about here behind me.
just saying. So,
Or
but
it was-
Ginger, congratulations again on your 2K.
I know, isn't that awesome?
Congratulations, Jen.
Couldn't
And-
have happened, she works so darn hard on that, YouTube. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal that she, her and you can just watching her and Megan interact like today. The two of them were just like, they're more like sisters.
Yeah. And
The banter between the two
that's
is
kind of what I was thinking too.
oh, absolutely. And Megan will poke at her, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to watch, and yeah.
Yeah, they do that whole dipping your face in ice water, and I mean, a lot of times I think what women do, I think they try. I mean, they call it pampering, but sometimes I wonder if it's a little bit of torturing.
Now, Lee, whenever we were about to buy that house in Miramichi, they said if I went out to the mouth and headed towards PEI, I could get a license for $26. And it was the ministry I was talking to. I don't know what kind of license it was, but they said it was $26 a month or $26 all in. And there was like certain restrictions that you were only allowed to harvest so many lobster at this size. And yeah, I'm not sure. Oh my goodness, Bob, how many hats has Rebecca made? I don't think she'd have to take off her shoes and socks to count that.
She's made 3 from me personally.
I have 3
and she's
and a blanket.
I think she's either made 1 or 2 for Christine.
Mhm.
I know at least 1, maybe 2. So that would be 5 just in this house, probably.
Yeah. Well, she made 1 for me and 1 for each of my girls. Debbie doesn't wear them, so. And then it was too big for the girls, so I ended up with all 3 of them. So I got 1 in the truck, I have 1 in the front hallway, and I think I have 1 in my my farm bag over at the farm. I'm never too far away from Miss Rebecca's hat. And like I said, I have her blanket she made me on my chair. And whenever I'm watching TV, or the very, very odd time that I watch TV, unless it's a reality show. Oh, there you go. I'm sure there's over 2,000 hats that I have made.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt that in the least.
Well, and she'll do like 10 for somebody's like giveaway. And and the auction off, like our Wyoming Life. I believe she's given, I forget how many. She made them hats, but then she made hats for them to auction off on their farm day.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
So
that's a lot of hats.
I'm seeming a little bit I'm watching my phone. We've just had an ATV rollover. Our fire department is trying to get to the guy, and air ambulance just went over the house. So they're keep that person in your prayers, because they're trying to get the life flight landed close enough and get them out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta be, those things can get on you.
Well, and that's it. Do you really need 1,000cc four-wheeler? Like,
Yeah, I do.
yeah, I do. Leave it alone.
Yeah. I mean,
No,
if
you
we
know,
go into that, do you really need thing? That's where everything goes south with me. It's not I'm from the States. Do I really want? Yes. Do I really want to get it? Yes.
I agree. I would have fun on it, but I am the one that, honey, hold my beer, even though I don't drink beer. I'm of the broken spine. It comes naturally.
See that's the same thing as Brutal Bob there was talking about the 28 pew-pews that he bought in a month or whatever it was. And, the first thing somebody would say was, do you really need, it doesn't matter what he needs. Matter what.
No, I don't need it. But
What he
do I
wants.
want it?
If he wants
Yes.
it, get it.
And you've got a valid point. We're only here for a short time.
That's right.
And
Right.
Debbie was always the one, well, let's save and let's do this and let's, we'll get it in due time. Or we'll wait to have kids until we get this paid off. You know what? You're never going to get kids.
Yeah.
And I finally got it through. Yeah, there you go.
She just sent me this picture of this hat that she just finished. So these are the colors of the hat that she just finished. So that's Rebecca, Touched by Yarn. She just sent this to me via text. So
yeah,
that's a nice hat. It looks like it's got, is that 2 colors in it, Rebecca, or 3?
Looks like a red and a fleck, like a grayish fleck kind of deal, or it's
got a lighter, kind of an orange in different spots, and then
now I can see it.
And then, or
that might just be the light, though. If she has her streaming light on, that could be because of that. Oh,
she said it's three colors.
Wow,
it's a pretty hat. But probably over a mile of yarn, huh?
Yeah. Oh, I see. And Lee, I know you're still in here. I see you guys are under surge warnings all the way to Quebec City. That's crazy. The Mackenzie Delta outlet, and I can hear the chopper circling.
Yep, Scotty, I have one of the Santa hats that she made. So I didn't get it till after Christmas, but we didn't even talk about it till after Christmas. Then she said she's got to make one for me, because during that time of the year, this little beard I've got right now ends up being a lot more beard.
Well,
And
and I'm starting to go here too. So I need my Santa hat this year.
well, you're going to have to do more than that little scraggly goatee right there on the new.
Like 2 inches long. We started it less than a month ago. Come on.
Well, I'm just saying, you're going to have to. Santa didn't have a goatee. Santa had a beard.
Oh, honestly, I can grow that in like that. It's this I got to go long. Yeah, big tides are on now. Yeah.
Uh-oh, I got another picture. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, okay. Here's another one.
Oh, cool. Purple and light
Is that
purple.
gold?
That's
Is that
cool.
purple and gold?
Yeah, there's a.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's purple and gold myself. But anyway, yeah, that's another one that she made. Who's purple and gold? What team is purple and gold? I know it's got to be some kind of ball team.
Well, there's football, NCAA. You've got Michigan. Michigan is purple and gold.
It's purple, lavender, and a light lavender. Okay.
Oh, just give me 1 sec. There's another update here.
I just got notification that Tony dropped an onion video. And you know what? It's really hard to, these notifications.
The 532 Clifford Side Road in McNaberside Township. McNaberside Fire Department Glasgow Station to respond for an ATV rollover in the area of 532 Clifford Side Road.
532. I have a buddy that lives out there, and he's got several ATVs.
Uh-oh.
Now, Chopper's still not down. Yeah. Yeah, he's going to have to drop it at an intersection, or there's a lot of farmers that just tilled their fields, so they're not going to want to put a chopper into loose material like that.
Maybe.
Anyways.
Yeah, they set them down, and of course around here it's all cattle. You know, when there is something open, it's cattle pastures.
Yeah.
So they set them down on the cattle pastures.
Well, that's pretty close to my buddies, and he's got cash crop and cattle. So
Yeah,
one side of the road they can drop it.
Yeah, cattle keep the ground pretty tight.
Well, but yet his cattle would probably come over and, well, what is this? What's this orange thing sitting in?
Oh, that's all cattle. It ain't just his cattle. It's all cattle. Cattle are curious creatures.
Oh.
You know, if you want to see something odd, you know, and you're thinking, if I go out here, well, you're not thinking this because you can't, but if I burn a brush pile, big brush pile, dozer pile, burn it out there in the cattle pasture, you think the cattle will stay away from that. You know, they'll know that's fire and that's danger and that's no good. Nope.
They don't know.
Nope. They run right to it. They will run right to the fire. They will, as soon as that fire burns down, they'll walk in the embers in that thing. They will walk in it. Their hide will be smoking and they'll just wander around in it and act like it's the best thing ever. I don't know how many I've seen them reach down and try to bite something and get a burn on their lip.
Yes,
Like,
Ginger.
come on, guys.
Yeah.
When did that sound like a good idea?
Ginger is correct. Pigs are also curious. Abso-friggin-lutely. If you want to have some fun, throw a half decent sized, oh my God, either any type of melon, pumpkin, you throw it in their pen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, our pigs they'd eat 2 or 3 of them, and then they play soccer with the other one. Oh,
Yeah, Christine was saying we were going to have to take some of these milk jugs here, these used up milk jugs, and put water in them and tie them up for the pigs to bounce around, to push around, because we got 2 of the not for nothing homestead pigs here in Oklahoma now.
yeah.
And the little red one, Ginger, that was so spooky, will now come to me anytime I go out there, and they like me to they like to nibble around on my fingers and stuff like that. But yeah, we've got 2 of the Georgia piggies here at Gillum Farms, and we're excited about them. They seem to be doing just fine.
So are you going to breed, or
No,
are these just for freezing?
No. These are one timers,
Okay.
on this batch,
So if you had to,
if we get any to breed, we'll get. I think Christine really wants Durocs.
Yeah.
So we'll probably get some Durocs if we're going to actually breed pigs. These are just for our own and our daughters, consumption. So.
and I don't understand. We buy them so cheap up here. Now you guys would think they're expensive, but relatively, $100 for the best tasting bacon seeds, and they do all the knocking, and they make a male pig into well, not so much of a male pig, and we get it at 10 weeks. Everything's done. Put them in the pen, feed them, and then we butcher them usually just before Christmas.
Yeah, that's what these are. The little feeder pigs. I mean, they'll just we'll. That's the thing though. About the time that they come down, their date comes, I guess you'd call it, for lack of a better word. By the time their date comes, it's probably going to be right during deer season. So it's going to be like, well, and we're getting ready to, and we got a beef that's going to the processor. I believe it's June 2nd is when I got to look at that, because.
Oh, wow. That's coming up then.
Yeah, it's let me see what day it's actually got to go, because you have to take it. Yeah, June 2nd is the day that the beef goes.
Now, what do you pay down there, Johnny? Do you pay on the hoof? $1?
No, this is
$1 on the hoof?
hanging weight. Hanging weight. It's going to be 93 cents a pound hanging weight.
Do they vacuum seal it for you? Or
Yep.
do they just paper bag it wrap?
Yep. Vacuum seal, 3 weeks hanging.
Wow.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. So, but they, and then we'll have, and it's good because, we have a whole pumpkin pen. We threw them a ton of pumpkin. You got a truck bed full of everything. Farm stand for free. Yeah.
That's the same as us up here.
So,
We have a produce stand, and whatever they don't want, they're like, Scott, bring your truck. And my truck is full. Actually, I've got videos on it. And pumpkins. Now, Bernie loves pumpkins. The Highlands, nah, they're not really into. They love apples. That's their treat of choice.
Chickens like pumpkin.
Cantaloupe. They love a cantaloupe. But
And-
like a honeydew, stuff like that. Nope.
Yeah, chickens like pumpkins and
love
watermelons and cantaloupes and all that good stuff. But right now, used to the chickens got everything. Whenever we had leftovers, the chickens got it. And they always knew if that door cracked, we opened that front door, and Ginger will know about this because she knows the layout here. If we opened that front door, the chickens all ran to the front of the pen because they knew we were going to bring them a treat, out of the house, whatever it would be. And they kind of looking at us like, what the heck, man? Whenever we start heading toward the pig pen with that stuff now.
That's our treat.
Yeah, they're like, what?
Yeah. And that's the same as the farm, because I'll park as soon as I pull into the farm, and to the right is the great big old chicken pen, and to the left is where the pigs are down on the hill.
Mm-hmm.
If you go one way or the other, and the chickens will follow me if they're out around the barnyard. They'll follow me down to the pigs,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like squawking at you, looking like, yo, what are you doing, man?
Yeah. Chickens are, just about every farm animal's a pretty needy thing. You know what I mean? So,
That's
the
what I
cattle,
say.
this is the craziest thing. I have gotten those cattle so used to moving paddock to paddock out there at the farm that if I don't move them like once every 2 days, they get plumb belligerent. They can be standing knee deep in the most lush grass you ever saw, but they want to go to that next pen that's got grass half as high, or whatever. And so you're like, come on, guys, just chill out for about let's go a whole week over here. Let's try that, and but they don't. I mean, usually you can go over there the day after and they're fine. But if you wait till the second day and go over there, they're all going to be standing at the gate. Everyone of them bellering like crazy, acting like they're starved to death, like you're the worst person ever.
Yeah, they're starved, all right.
Yeah, they look like they're about to dry up and blow away. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And like I say, that's why I am a big proponent of my animals have one bad day.
Yeah.
Like, I've spent at least 3 hours a day since I got the turkeys downstairs talking to them. As soon as they hear my voice, they come over to the side closest, knowing that I'm going to pick them up and play with them. Like, I woke up, was it yesterday morning? Yeah, yesterday morning, to a whole bunch of giggles. Well, my 22-year-old had one of her friends over, and they were downstairs playing with the chicken or the turkeys. I'm like, you guys realize we will be eating those in 20 weeks. Do not get too close to them.
Hi, Linda.
Linda. Going on, Linda?
So, but yeah, we're, hey, Backroad Trucker. Hello. How are you? Good to see you.
Yep, absolutely. What's new and exciting?
Yeah. You guys out there in the chat, you guys can give us something to talk about.
Exactly. This is the first time Johnny and I have been speechless, folks.
Well, we're not speechless. It's just that I don't want my conversation to go where I would take it, because it would go there. Because I haven't watched the news today, but I did just hear that the Boy Scouts of America just changed their name.
What?
The Boy Scouts of America have just changed their name.
No.
They used to be BSA, Boy Scouts of America, and they have changed their name. So the word boy is no longer in there, and it's I think it's scouting. I was speechless last night on my live. No one wanted to join. Did you have an open mic, Backroad Trucker?
See, Wednesdays, I'm so regimented with Mike and Terry and
Yeah, there's that whole well,
I
they
forget.
call it family night, don't they?
Yes, I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, it's family night. It's got Mike. Well, the first one that usually I watch Derek Fowler at
Yes.
5 o'clock, and then watch only 5 or 6 commented. What time was it, Backyard
Yeah.
Trucker?
What time do you go live on Wednesdays?
I tell you what, those is that a normal live? Like, is that a scheduled live that you do every week?
And until people get to know that you're going to go live, do your thumbnail a week ahead so that it people see that you're going live on X date. Now, that's Thursdays. Some days I put up a thumbnail, some days I don't, but everybody knows I'm going to be here. Or, somebody will be here.
That's awesome, Linda. That's great. So, firstborn is safe in Tennessee from the twisters. That's awesome. It's always good to know that your family is safe from the storms, because we have had some pretty devastating storms down here in the States recently. Backyard Trucker, you said it's a basically you went on random. So you just you're pop-ups. We call those pop-ups. So
Yeah.
you do the pop-up live, and if people don't have the notifications turned on or anything like that, they don't see it. They don't know that you're live, and then until maybe later.
Yeah.
On the last minute, Lucy Yellow. Yeah, me too, Ginger. I mean, we've got Chilling with the Gillums Saturday night. I don't have anything up for that yet, but it is coming. We're going to be on. We are on tonight at 5. I do have that one up though. Have you thought of where the morels are going to go, Troy? I have. I did some dozer piles out here, when we cleared for this place, and I've got there's some elms and some cedars kind of growing in this area. And I know that, elms and cedars and things like that, in all that soil from the breaking down dozer piles, that's my plan right now. But my deal is I need to know how long before. I mean, we haven't planted any of them yet, so I need to know how long can we keep these. In other words, can we refrigerate them and keep them until next spring, whenever it's morel season again, to do that? Or is it one of those things I'm going to have to throw out right now and hope for the best, because they're not going to grow now. I mean, we're beyond morel season here. So I just need to know, more about it than I do. I found I could count on 2 hands how many morels I found in my life.
Okay.
You need to read the instructions.
I need to read it. Is there instructions on them?
Yep.
Oh, you send instructions. Great.
And that's why we got married.
She'll read them.
Yep. All else fails. First thing I did whenever Debbie and I got together, I threw all my colors with the non-colors, turned everything gray, and I've never had to do a load of laundry since.
Place in a mason jar, keep it in a cool, dark place. That sounds easy enough.
Oh, that's easy.
We can do that. And then we can use them, put them out next year. That'd be good. Because I'd rather wait and put them out for the spring of next year. That would be better. Because you never know what, I might turn that dozer pile into something between now and then with the dozer. Look for falling down elm tree joints. I do that a lot. Yeah. I know sickly elm trees are a good place. Around cedars, every one I've found has been around cedars. I've looked around every dying elm tree I can find on 2 or 3 properties here and never found one, but I've found a few under cedar trees.
I didn't realize that they were strictly a spring mushroom.
They got to have the conditions right.
Okay.
They start popping up. It's still pretty cool whenever they start coming on, and wet,
Okay.
and then they will go hard. They'll harden off pretty quick, and then there you go. And usually after that, they're done for the year.
Cool. I learned something new today. I can go back to bed now.
Well, as long as you learn something.
I had an old trucker in Mississippi. We were having dinner, and he's like, young fella, if I can tell you one thing, he said, if you don't learn something new on the road every single day, he said, please get off the road, because you're going to kill yourself or you're going to kill somebody else.
So yeah, and then there's the other thing, which is if you watch the news, you're gonna learn something wrong. Let's just put it that way. What you think you have learned isn't going to be correct. So,
Well,
just saying, guys,
that's it. Like, you
but
turn on the news up here right now, you'd think the U.S. is ready to go into a full civil war. With all the students protesting in Texas, and it's just like, wow. Like,
well,
anyways, we're going back down that hole.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's not as, yeah, and I'm sure they will look for every single story to corroborate what they're, whether it be just a little minute little blip thing that happened way over here, that'll be the whole story. The whole rest of the country, they don't work. I mean, the whole rest of what's going on, they don't worry about that. They want to do that agendized little blip story that would be nothing any other time or in any other place.
Yep.
But it will be here because.
I know. It's so frustrating. And even long before I started watching YouTube, I wouldn't watch TV or the news.
Yeah. Backyard trucker, I don't watch the news. That's the best way to be.
I figure if it's anything that's major, somebody will call and let me know.
Mason jar.
I think that's the way to do it.
He said just cool, dark place. That's the stuff we got from Troy.
Oh,
she's already got, look, she put a nice little lid on it, little wooden lid, all that good stuff. It's kind of like a cork. Man.
Look at her.
Agenda, that's right. Yep. And anything that goes against the agenda, and whether it's a story, I mean, it's a story that we all need to hear and stuff like that, they won't report it, because if they report it, then it goes against what they're trying to make everything seem like. And that's what
media
is trying to make it seem like. So all these other countries, they look at the U.S. and they think that we're just, and what they're looking at is here we go, Columbia University. They look, what's happening at Brown. They look at what happened in, at all these different, Seattle, Washington, Portland, they'll talk about, they don't talk too much about Chicago because it doesn't meet the narrative. There's a narrative that goes along, with, pew pew violence and stuff like that. And Chicago doesn't, that doesn't help what they're trying to do. So they don't talk about it.
Yep.
So, the place with the strictest gun laws in the country has the worst. Yeah. That doesn't meet the narrative. It doesn't fit the agenda. So we're going down the rabbit hole again. I really don't want to, and but it is so I miss the news of whenever I was a kid. I really do. I really
Yes.
miss just being able to turn on the news and they just said, "Okay, this is what happened," and they just and you see it, and you
Everything
see
was black and white.
it's black and white.
Now today,
That's what happened. They don't throw their opinion as to why it happened or any of that stuff. They just say this happened.
The old day of
Should
reporting
be.
facts are gone. Now everybody has to put their opinion in, and that's no longer news.
Right. It's an opinion piece at that point. It's not. It's not news.
No.
So yeah, then you get to hear the opinion, and nobody wants to. And whoever it is, guy, gal, they, them. We don't care what your opinion of what happened is. We just want to see you just show us the footage, the unaltered footage. This happened. We'll come to our own opinion. We'll have our own, we'll have our own, not really. You're doing great, Walter. Yeah.
Yeah.
If
you don't want to hear the truth, don't ask the question. Because I had probably a third, fourth cousin say something really stupid on Saturday. And then looked at me and said, "Well, what's your pronoun?" I said, "What?" "Well, what's your pronoun?" "Here."
Yep.
"What do you want me to say?"
"Howdy."
Yeah. Like, I can make up a pronoun if you'd like, but and I'm seeing more and more and more. And somebody actually made a comment about my political email. "You don't have your pronoun on there." What? Well,
I'm Scott.
I'm like, I'm Scott, or if you want to be really formal, Counselor Broom.
There you
That's
go.
all you need. That's all you need.
Yep.
If I have a pronoun, you don't need to address me by my pronoun. I just dove down that hole again. But yeah, no, this whole pronoun-y thingy, I just don't get it.
Yeah, I can't get. I can't get how everything's got to be about how you.
And you don't want to hurt the little fellas or little people's feelings. Like Sparkle Socks.
Hurt their feelings.
He's got his pronouns.
I bet.
Good for him. I call him Sparkle Socks.
There we go.
There's no he, him, his, mine, wanna. Sparkle Socks. That's his pronoun.
Yeah.
It's actually becoming a hashtag now. I love it.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
everybody's like, "Who is Sparkle Socks?" I'm like, now I can say, "Ask Siri." Siri will tell you who Sparkle Socks is.
Oh, surely not.
I bet you if
Surely not.
If
You
Joe
know,
was
you know
in
why?
here,
Because Siri is programmed by the folks who wouldn't want you to. It'd be like us asking Siri who Brandon is. You
well,
know, that like, let's go, Brandon.
yeah,
Siri's not going to tell us anything negative about our imperial fearless dictator that we have in the office right now.
I just don't understand all the unions jumping on behind him, and he was the one that cut all the jobs.
It's
That
just,
doesn't equate. Like, again, we're going back to what they're teaching our kids now. 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4 anymore. It's around
hey,
5.
hey, is Randy out there? Somebody y'all might need to throw him a life jacket here in a second.
Yeah. G'day, Christian. Hey, Coastal.
Coastal water, howdy, howdy.
Yeah. If Panda's with you, put a set of earmuffs on her today, because we're talking about cows and bears and chickens and turkeys,
Sparkle foxes
and then we jump down into rabbit holes where sparkle foxes live, and cousin Brandon's, and
yeah. Hey,
follow
Barb.
the money. Amen. Amen.
Yeah, there's Barb. You know, it's just like I'm telling you, if anybody doesn't think that foreign aid isn't a money laundering scheme, I got some a bridge to sell you. I'm telling you,
So
foreign aid is the biggest money laundering scheme there is.
I may be
So
having
we
something.
send billions over, and they send to these senators and congressmen and stuff like that. They send them millions back. That's how you can take a job that has a 6-figure salary, which is already too much, in my opinion, for what they're supposed to be working for the people, and they all turn into millionaires. I remember when AOC, get this, folks, AOC, you guys know who that is, right? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Mhm.
She was, when she became a House representative, whenever she became one of the representatives, she was wondering how she was going to get to work. She didn't have enough money to, she was doing all this. Well, guess what, folks? In just 3 or 4 short years, who's another millionaire? Yeah. How you do that?
I tell you what,
that,
I got
folks?
into the wrong politics.
How you do that, folks?
Yeah. Yeah. It's I just, and if people actually knew the truth, they would bend, like they would just collapse into fetal positions. And it's, you know, like there's some stuff even going on in our small little community right now that probably will hit national news tomorrow. So as long as it hits the news tomorrow, I can share it tomorrow night.
Yeah.
But, all I can say is they've got to start vetting people.
Uh-oh. Yep, AOC would be aggravated, Gingy.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
It's like our members of parliament, as long, like just the average Joe that sits in the seat. I'm not talking minister or anybody with any responsibility, just an MP. They're making 175,000. If they serve one complete term, they get that for life.
Right. We had that same deal going on over here. It's the craziest thing ever.
I'm kicking my butt because I was asked to run against our federal member who's been in there 22 years, but my health won't allow it. And really, I don't. Yeah, I would be the biggest whistleblower.
Mhm.
Just saying, I'm not into. I've only had it here once that there was a package of money dropped off at the house. I went to the developer and I said, if it ever happens again, your money's not going to be returned. It's going to go right straight to the police.
Mhm.
He stopped developing in our community.
Mhm.
But
Well,
how
that's
long has that been going on?
those palms getting greased. That's how, you know.
Not my idea of fun.
Yeah, that's politics, man. That's just, I mean, like I said, AOC went from, you
Yeah,
know, she had no idea. I mean, she was like,
she had
I can't afford to
nothing.
live in Washington. I can't afford to do that. I can't afford, you know, and all this stuff. Now she's a millionaire.
Yeah,
So, you know,
that's a pretty
where
good
else are you going
turnaround.
to get on that kind of bandwagon that quick? I mean,
I guarantee you, no farmer's going to get that rich that fast.
no, no, no. Because if you look up the money that they make per year, if they saved every dime of it, they still wouldn't be a millionaire. So, and then
Well,
if you say, well, they bought stock and they sold stock, that doesn't fly either, because the things that they do affects the way stock jumps and falls and things like that. So they buy low, sell high. Now that
mhm,
should never happen, but it does.
mhm.
No, you want to see the biggest one on that? That would be Miss Pelosi and her husband. They know when things are going to happen in the stock market because of what they get through in the House or the Senate, and they buy and sell based on that.
Yeah, that's it's. I just find it very disgusting.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the way I was brought up. It's not the way I brought my kids up, and I've just got no sense of. I've got no use for it.
Yeah.
You know, like instead of you becoming a millionaire, have a half decent wage. You know, they've got a lot of crap that they have to deal with, but a half decent wage, not a millionaire in 3 years on the backs of, you know, people who can't afford health care, you know, can't afford a home, have to live in, you know, cars. It disgusts me. And it's moving up north. I know 3 or 4 people around town. They pull into people's driveways and that's where they sleep. Now they have permission to like just park at the end of the laneway so they don't get in trouble. But how is that any way to live? And people, these people in Ottawa, old Sparkle Sock seems to be okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's a big book coming out. His ex-wife is tell all. I will be purchasing that book.
Yeah, but you know, people won't. There'll
Well,
be a
people won't
there'll be a
believe
bunch
her.
of people they'll absolutely won't believe it, you know, because it doesn't, because he's a hero to them for whatever reason. Uh, but I'll tell you, I'm gonna tell you exactly how to fix all the our country's ills. I'll tell you how to fix it right now. Term limits.
Mm.
One term, they have to go on Medicare just like everybody else. They go on Social Security just like everybody else. Whatever, if they make $100,000 a year while they're in Congress, because we can't repeal that somehow,
Yep.
they only make it while they're in Congress for that one term. And then they come out and they go right back to work, or they go to, you know, or if they're retired, they're old enough to be retired, they get their Social Security or whatever. I guarantee you'd see some stuff fixed. I
Mhm.
mean, toot sweet, you would see things fixed, you wouldn't see what we got now.
No, and I do agree with your 2-term limit. Being one term, you learn the ropes on how to move things forward, and then your second term, you get a lot done, or at least we did that.
Not here. Not here. You know what the second term is for? Is to concrete whatever liberal agenda you got in place to get it concreted in. Right now, this is the thing that Congress is trying to do right now. They're trying to make it to where, you know, how whenever President Biden came in and he immediately repealed all the executive orders that President Trump had put into place immediately. I mean, that was their big deal. The media they just loved it. They watched him just signing all these, you know, repeals of executive orders and then signing all these new executive orders. Well, what they're trying to do is they're trying to make it to where he cannot undo an executive order done by Joe Biden.
And
So
there should be a
if that's
give and
not
take.
dictatorship.
Yeah.
If that's not a dictatorship, tell me what is, guys.
Yeah. Oh,
Tell me what is.
I remember, like, and you're not that much older than what I am, Johnny, but most of the people here are around our age demographic, give or take a few years. But I remember my first vision of politics was, yes, you had different parties, but they worked together for a common goal.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's how they can slit each other's throat and screw the little person.
Well, yeah, or pretend like they're slitting each other's throat.
Well,
and still screw the little person.
Well, either way, and like I said, there's no middle class anymore.
No,
It's
because
people living paycheck to paycheck, or you're rich. Very few people can afford a savings account anymore.
Yeah, because if you can, they don't want you affording to do things. I just saw something. I mean, I saw a snippet of something last night. They were talking about doing some to where they limit your ability to travel, how far you can travel. And when I say travel, I mean travel within the country, not travel outside the country. They're talking about doing some travel limitations because of safety. Let's just put it that way, you know. In other words, they're afraid that people can travel somewhere and assemble, you know.
But isn't it California that if you move out, you owe them money?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you move away, you owe money.
Like that would make me want to move at midnight.
Yeah.
Catch me if you can. I don't know, but that's just a little bit
exit tax is what they call it.
Yeah. So and how is this a free democratic society
when you can't live where you want to?
Exactly. Like I wow. It's all I need to say on that one is
just
wow.
Yeah, it goes back to that one guy. You guys have one Canadian. I think he's really funny, and you know the channel. I'm not even going to say the channel because it's so crude sounding, but it's QDMD.
He doesn't live that far from me,
and that guy is hilarious.
Yeah,
he's like, I love his little segment called "You've Got to Be S-ing Me," you know. And all he does is take news snippets, just the headlines, and just reads these headlines and goes through it. And every one of them, you read them and you go, "You've got to be me." Are you serious?
Pretty much like what Mark and Debbie do on Saturday mornings, this guy does up here.
Yeah.
And he goes a lot more in depth than Debbie and Mark. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, Debbie Mark, they say, well, not, just, do your research, folks, and stuff like
Yeah.
that. They kind of leave it. They kind of leave it there. He kind of gives his opinion on it a little bit.
Oh yeah. I'm actually surprised they haven't shut him down yet.
Oh yeah. Every time, whenever I see him on there, I'm like, wow, I can't believe he's still on.
Exactly. And especially like Sparkle Socks is after cutting all media. So it used to be Canadian Broadcasting Society. We used to have so many Canadian hours that it could only be Canadian shows. Got rid of that. Now he wants to bring it back, especially for YouTube. And if I do a research on homesteading, good luck trying to find anybody in Canada. It's all the US. So his fix is he's going to write down that imaginary big line there called the St. Lawrence River. He's going to put up a snippet, a great big old line across there, and I won't be able to communicate with Johnny.
Right.
Or Jesse. And it's only who Sparkle Socks thinks I can communicate to. They want to make it so hard for me to cross the border, vice versa. And now Cousin Brandon and Sparkle Socks are both at this one. They're trying their best not to have people the cross-border shopping, okay? And I'm talking from East Coast to West Coast, is a $7 billion economy. That means Canadians going south into New York State, Vermont, Maine, Michigan, wherever, and vice versa. Those folks coming up here. That's a huge economy for both sides of that border. Well, these two brilliant boneheads are trying to make it where that's going to be a zero. We already see it up here. We cannot order stuff out of the US anymore. It says undeliverable to your account or to your address. Huh? Actually, what are these right here? All that they are is seed bags.
Yeah.
It would have been, even with the exchange and whatever, it would have been about 50% cheaper for me to order it out of the States. I tried. Nope. You got to buy from Canada and pay this absorbent amount of tax and whatever else. It's only been in the last year that I got hauled in at the border. It was at Christmas time. Debbie and I finished our Christmas shopping in Ogdensburg, and we got some groceries, stuff that we can't buy down there. And we have people on your side that come up here and get stuff they can't get in the US. We're fortunate we live near a border. It's not my fault. But it's crazy. And now Canada Post just put up the price of boxes, shipping, letters, 8%. They're already unaffordable. Like, and people wonder why I go with my discount. The only issues I've had one issue, and the rest were I was given wrong addresses, mistypes. That's not my fault. So it's sitting in the border. Actually, they're probably drinking their coffee out of my mugs that people gave me the wrong address. Well, I've only had one missed ship, and it cost me next to nothing. It costs me less to ship to England than what it does to Jesse and Lisa in Texas.
Oh, wow.
So,
Wow.
Paul, I sent a mug. Actually, JB won the mug, and she said, "Can you price to ship it to Paul? I'd love to ship it to Paul." I said, "Sure." I think it was like $13 US.
Wow. $13 to ship it to jolly old England.
Yeah.
My goodness.
So, and for Jesse and Lisa, for the bottle of maple syrup that I just sent Jesse, was like $30 US. Yes, I know there's a little bit of a weight difference, but not a whole lot. It's absolutely, they're getting to the point where it's almost impossible to make a go of it, you know? And my kids are the generation that got caught. Like, you know, we have the second highest paid military in the world. I know how much they make. My son's in there. It's still peanuts. He would make, and he is going to make more money somewhere else because Sparkle Socks is driving them out of the military. He and along with cousin Brandon, they've sent a lot of our good military equipment to Turkey, all over there for their war. Not for our people to use, for their people to use. So you know we're never going to get it back.
No.
You know, and somebody that is into manufacturing of military arms, we'll say, they've been shipping containers of rounds across.
Yep.
For a year, 2 years. But yet Kyle and them can't practice with live rounds here because Sparkle Socks is giving all our rounds away.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
It's sad and we've got to do something about it.
Yeah. And you know what? So this guy right here, probably one of this is him, and he is. You
down,
see,
down. Oh yes, there you go.
Yeah. So you get that guy right there. He of course, he hadn't put anything out in 2 months, any videos out in 2 months, which makes me wonder, you know, have they shut him down?
Well, I think he might have got his hands wrapped.
Oh, I'm sure.
But, you know, like I've got my first cousins. We grew up like brother and sisters. They're disgusted at what they have to teach children in school now.
They don't have to.
Well, it's pretty hard to give up a gig.
Yeah,
Teachers
I know,
make
but
good money.
sometimes it's the right thing to do, Scott.
Oh, but again, they're almost, you know, whenever they started teaching, they were able to teach for the love of kids learning.
But
Now,
I can assure
being-
you, if I was being told I had to teach the kids something that's incorrect and is only going to harm them in the future, I would not teach it anymore. I would not teach. I would leave the profession.
Well,
So
and there's more and more adult, like parents that are pulling kids out now. Like up here, homeschooling was almost frowned upon whenever I was younger. Now, there's homeschooling all over the place.
that's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm surprised they haven't made some kind of a law against it up there.
Shh. Sparkle Socks is listening.
Oh, I'm sure he already knows this gig. You
Oh,
know,
I know.
I saw yesterday. I saw 4-year-olds marching. Little 4-year-old, just little blonde-haired, blue-eyed kids marching for Hamas. They don't know anything about that. They're little kids, but they have got them. They're carrying banners. They're marching. They're saying, "No, the Zionists have to go," etc., etc. Here in the States, and they're just little kids. They don't know anything about that. They should be playing with dolls, and they should be playing with little trucks, and stuff like that. They shouldn't be doing that. So
They've taken the innocence away from our children.
yeah. So how are those kids going to grow up?
Oh, they're already in. They're already in. Like talking to psychiatrists and whatever else. And we're talking little kids.
Yeah.
And it's disgusting.
It is.
It's disgusting. And again, it's another Thursday, the life according to Johnny and Scott.
Well, I'm sure we're not the only ones.
Well,
But
I want to go back to my family island and become king, because there is a king broom.
King Broom. Yep.
The Broom clan owns an island off of Germany, and it's a rule by a king broom. I want to go meet this dude. Maybe I'm next to the throne, folks. Come on over. Guarantee you it ain't gonna run like this. And they say Germany's beautiful. You muted yourself, Johnny. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. So I'm gonna have to jump.
Yeah, well, I gotta go too. It's almost 3:00. You come on in another 3 hours.
You've been on for 3 hours now. I got a mail. I got some things I got to do. But anyway, it's been fun talking. I always enjoy talking to you. I'm sorry that it always goes like this, but it would be so easy to fix so many things by just, I'm telling you,
Common sense.
Much.
Common sense, folks.
Common sense. Just
There's no more common in common sense.
no, it's not common. It's very uncommon. But anyway,
Yes.
well, everybody out in the chat, I'll talk to you later. And thanks, Scott.
Don't
always
forget.
Like I said, I always enjoy your platform, Scott.
Oh, and that's what we do is we chit chat, we save the world.
Yep, we're gonna save the world.
At least we
Yeah.
tried. Oh.
At least we tried.
Anyways,
Canada and the U.S. talking right here. So
absolutely. Homestead Hangout tonight, guys. 6:00. You got
5 Central, guys. 5 Central. 5 Central.
Joey.
Central time. Central like
Joey.
center.
Joey. Joey's the center of the world.
Good
If
night.
we don't speak in Joey tongue, oh no, Ginger's life is totally gone. Anyways, guys, take care. God bless. And we'll see you tomorrow night. Well, we'll see you tonight in Johnny's. and the whole rest of the Homestead Hangout. And tomorrow night on Shenanigans, I'm not sure about Jan and Brenda with the whole meetup if they're going to go live, but if not, I'll go live longer.
All right.
Anyways, take care, guys.